What's good with it, yo? It's your boy Santo G. Back at it. You already know, spreading unity, prosperity, and respect. But above all, if you're new here, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell. It don't cost you nothing and it will help out this channel. So today, I wanted to get back to my stories. I know I gave a little teaser the other day. I dropped a little short of the day that my life changed, the day that I pretty much committed the crime that sent me to prison, how everything happened that day, and how I didn't listen to the signs. Because all throughout that day, there was signs. I felt like, looking back on it now, right, it could have been a higher power telling me, stay your ass home, don't go do this. But we didn't listen, you feel me? Being young knuckleheads, we didn't listen. So it all started like around 7, 8 in the morning. You know what I mean? It was early. I was sleeping in the living room. At the time where we was living at, I didn't even have a room. All I did was I would put a mattress on the floor. At the end of the night, I'll put a mattress on the floor, make my bed, knock out on the floor in the living room, and then in the daytime I would pick up everything, fold everything, pick up the mattress, and I'll stuff the mattress inside the laundry room. So I'm laying down, boom, laid out inside the living room, and I just hear doom, 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 knocking on the door, right? At that time, my older sister, she's 2 years older than me, my older sister Angelica, she's up. So she goes, she opens the door, and I just remember her opening the door, and then she just slams it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird, you know? There was no more knocking after that. I just remember her opening it, looking, and then she just slams it. What the fuck? I get up, I go and I open the door, and it's my ex-homeboy Ricky. So boom, I opened the door, and then he's right there, and he was just looking down. He was on his phone. So when he sees me open the door, he looks up. We lock eyes. I'm like, what's up, fool? I'm like, what happened? He's like, man, I don't know. Whoa. You feel me? So boom, he's like, hey, fool, like, let me get that, let me get the strap. So my pad, right, it was the hood spot, and at that time, my house was the spot, and any type of like ammo and any type of like straps, the homies will always come like, hey, here, hold this. Hey, here, hold this. Hey, hold this. Because they knew it was the spot. They knew my jefita didn't trip. And they just knew I was with it. You feel me? So, boom, I opened the door. He looks up. He's like, hey, let me get that. At this point in time, right, it was a Nina. It was a 9 revolver, all chrome, black rubber grip, brand new. It was still inside the box. So he's like, hey, let me get that. Boom, I get it. I give it to him. As he's turning around to leave, I stop him. I'm like, hey, where you going? He's like, I'm going to go pick up the homie Necio, and then from there, we're going to go hunting. You feel me? So I was just like, hey, wait for me. My dumb ass, right? He didn't even ask me like, hey, come through. He just like, hey, I'm gonna go do this. So I'm like, hey, wait for me. I'm gonna change real quick. Go change real quick. I don't even remember hitting my grill. That's how fast I was moving, you feel me? This is just me being honest. So boom, go change, jump in the whip. He's driving, I'm passenger. Whole time, right? The whole time we're driving, he has the strap on his lap. So, boom, we go to South Central, we pick up the homie, and on the way back, right, we're just hitting different sections, and this is just me being honest. we're hitting different sections. We come from South Central, we come down Imperial, hit that whole side over there on that side, Century, and then we just take Century all the way down. We go to like the LAX area. So we go by like Animo, I think it was Venice. We go by Animo, Venice, come back. We're cruising through on that side, like LAX, looking for, you know what I mean, enemies on that side. At that point in time, we was going at it with pretty much everyone around us. So pick up the homie South Central, cruising, hunting on that side. As we end up getting closer to the Hyde Park side, like closer to home, we end up running into one of the older homies. You know what I'm saying? And this is where I said, like, I should have just listened to the signs. First sign was my older sister. Soon as she seen him, probably already sensed that he was up to no good, closed the door. The second sign, as we're cruising, we end up seeing one of the older homies. And we stop. I didn't know him. The homies knew him, you know what I mean? The homie Ricky was already like 19 and the homie Nessia was like 21. So they were older. They knew the older homie. We stopped. We're chopping it up with him. And he even asked us, like, what are you fools doing, you know? And we tell him, like, hey, what we're doing. He's like, what? He's like, you guys already making a mistake, man. He's like, it only takes two. Why is there three of you inside the car if you guys are going to do what you guys are saying, you know? He gave us a tongue lashing. He like, man, y'all already doing too much. Right after we leave him, we hit the corner and we end up seeing the person that ends up becoming a victim that day, right? Boom, we see him. Long story short, some words are exchanged, gang signs are thrown up, and boop, 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 boop. He ends up getting laid down. Thankfully, he didn't pass away. But in the middle of all that happening, there's people right there waiting. Like, there's a lot of witnesses. They got the license plate number. I don't even remember this, right? I kind of do, but as we're at the stop sign, about to turn right, when we see homeboy, right before we see homeboy, there's some females crossing the street, taking a little bit of a minute. So the homie Ricky ends up yelling at them like something, and he called them out of their name. I just remember he yelled out the B word. He's like something, bitch. So those females that he got into it with right before we went and did what we did, or right before I went and did what we did, them females ended up becoming, them two females were two of the three witnesses that they had, because they had homeboy that ended up getting hit, and they had those two females that were like the main witnesses that were pointing me out and coming to court and stuff, you feel me? So boom, all that happens. He ends up yelling. Boom, next thing you know, we go make it home. I get dropped off. He goes to his pad. He lived right across the street from me. He lived right across the street, like 2 houses down. So as I'm home, I go home, shower, piss on my hands, you feel me, throw on my clothes in the washer. I had like all black. I ended up putting on like a white tee. I had jeans. I put on shorts, like something totally different from what I was wearing, you feel me? So as I'm finishing that, I just hear boop, 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 boop. Englewood police, come out. What the fuck? Just picture this, right? You just go do what you do. Get dropped off. I run, go home. He goes, parks, goes home. And then he comes to my house. I end up giving him, I believe I gave him like alcohol. And I gave him a bandana, like, hey, here, you know, I put that over there. Go wipe it down. That's the last thing I told him. Boom, go wipe it down. I'm gonna go shower. Jump in the shower. Change everything. Next thing you know, I think I'm like logging onto my MySpace and shit. about to put on some music. That's when I fucking start hearing boom, 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 boom. Inglewood police, come out. Inglewood police, come out. What the fuck? At first I'm thinking like, man, they fucking with me. Open the door. Soon as I open the door, the hoodie's right there. Don't fucking move. Grabs me. Boom. Slams me. And I just look and he's right there on his knees and shit. Like, They were like twisting his arm and shit. Getting him to yell, you know? Come out, come out. I forgot to say that part. I hear boom, boom, boom. Inglewood police, come out. And then I also hear him, if you're there, come out, dog. If you're there, come out. The fuck? Boom, get thrown down. Next thing you know, my carnal, Big Saint, is coming out. He has my nephew. My nephew was like 1 or 2 at the time. Thankfully, there was a shopping cart. You know how back then, man, if you raza, we all have a shopping cart in our backyard. If you're Mexican, at least before they put the locks on them. Now they got the locks where if you take it a certain distance, they lock. But this was before all that. There was a shopping cart in the backyard. I just remember them grabbing that and putting my nephew inside the shopping cart because my carnal was handcuffed too. So I just remember we're both handcuffed on the ground. They got the shopping cart right here with my nephew in the shopping cart while they're searching everything. And right there, as soon as you walk in, like as soon as you walk into our apartment, there was not a garage. There's a closet right there. And that closet was my closet because like I said, I slept in the living room. So that was my closet. As soon as you walk in the door, first closet, that's my closet. They open it. There was one of them poker chests. Like, you know, you get the deck of poker and then you get the chips and all that. Well, I had used that. I took everything out, gutted it. And that's what I had the ammunition in. I had 9, 25, 22, 38, different kinds of ammo. I got that. And then I had a shotgun. And this one was actually the homies, you know what I mean? It was 2 of the homies that had pieced up money together to buy it, but they couldn't store it at home, you feel me? And like I said, my house was the spot. My jefita even seen that before. I remember she was looking for something and she stumbled on it like, what the hell? Because I just had it wrapped up like in a blanket or a towel or something. Literally like just right there in the corner, but it wasn't loaded or anything like that, you feel me? I don't even think we had ammo for it. They had just bought it. Boom, that's right there. So just remember they find that. What the fuck? Boom, they find the ammo. What the fuck? They're like, what's this? Woo, woo. I just remember for the shotgun, I just like, man, I found that shit. Like I found it under a car. You feel me? Like I was just walking home one day and I happened to look under a car and I see it. Snatched it up. You feel me? I don't even know what it is. Like I just know I found it. So boom, start questioning. Like, man, I don't know nothing. You feel me? Like straight up. Like boom. They end up searching the house. I didn't know it that day, but homeboy Ricky ended up telling. Ever since that day when they put him in the back of the cop car and took him to the station, he ended up telling them everything. But the thing that saved me from getting busted that day, because I ended up getting busted like 2 months after that. 2 weeks after that, they ended up hitting my pad. They came, got my DNA. I denied it. So they had no choice but to let me go. Then when they got my DNA, they came and got me like 2 months later. But they ended up searching my pad. Homeboy ended up telling them where the strap was at because he ended up stashing it in the back. Well, he didn't even touch it. Where I stashed it and I told them it was at, they never even cleaned it. So it had my DNA. It still had the shells inside it because it was a revolver. It was a 9, but a revolver. So wasn't no shells at the scene, but the shells were still inside. You feel me? So that's how they was able to be like, all right, this is the same weapon because the shells were still inside. Homeboy told, they had my DNA. But because I kept it solid, I didn't say anything. And that day, because I changed clothes, Because they raided my pad and it took a few hours for them to get their search warrant. So they just had us in the front of the house, handcuffed and shit. And if anything, they brought people to the scene, right? They brought people to the scene. And because I had changed clothes and all that, the witnesses that they brought to the scene, they said it wasn't me. When they put me out there, like, flashed the light on you and shit, they said it wasn't me. They pointed out my ex-homeboy Ricky, the one that told from the beginning, and they pointed out the homie Necio. And because it had dark-ass tints in the back, they only saw two people. They didn't even know it was three people in the vehicle. They only saw two. They saw the driver and the person that hopped out, which was me. You know what I mean? So that's why it was like a little bit up in the air. I was still off for a little bit. So that's way you guys learn, man. Never admit to anything. You never admit to anything. That's the main reason why I'm here today and I didn't get life. They had the gun, they had the victim, they had witnesses, and they had my homeboy telling. They could have easily washed me up. But because I held mines, didn't admit to anything, never admitted to anything, I was able to get the deal that I got. You feel me? And all my stories, I want to have a lesson. So the lesson in this one is just listen to your gut feeling. You feel me? If I would have listened to at first when my sister closed the door, that was sign number one, man. Sign number two was the homie that stopped us and told us, like, hey, y'all tripping. You feel me? Y'all, it don't take three. It only takes two, and we did it in the homeboy's car. Even he told us, like, what are you doing? You feel me? But us being knuckleheads, and it didn't really catch on at the time. And not only that, this whole time that we was out there, right, me personally, por pendejo, I was just along for the ride. Because homeboy had the strap in his lap the whole time. The whole time, right, homeboy, if anything, I would have just jumped over and drove or something, you know, but the whole time he had the strap in his lap. It wasn't until right before all that happened and it was time to get busy, homeboy kind of froze. He was like, and I was just like, man, had that. Jumped out, did what I did, you feel me? As just trying to be a down little homie, you feel me? Trying to make a name for myself, like, what? Give me that. You don't know what to do with that, like 6ix9ine said. You don't know what to do with that, man? Give me that. I stole that shit. You know what I mean? I stole that shit from his lap and I went and did what I did. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, I'm the one that got the shit end of the stick. And I was the youngest one. So any youngsters watching my video, man, if something don't feel right, if you getting little signs like that, just listen. You feel me? Listen. Especially it was an older homie. He was trying to lace us up. Exactly what he said happened. Right? Because the way we looked at it, right? You got to be militant. And I didn't understand this till after the fact. Because we got chewed out for that. Even though we ended up getting somebody from the other side or whatever. Yeah, at the time. You know what I mean? But this is exactly what the homie said. He's like, look, G. Yeah, you got one of them. But we lost 3. Like, what? What you mean? He like, yeah, we lost 3, dog. Cause you on the run. The other 2 homies are locked up. We lost 3 homies. So was it worth it at the end of the day? Looking back on it, like, damn, it wasn't. You feel me? At the end of the day, we losing more numbers than them. And I was like, man. You know what I mean? Just a little something to think about. You gotta be militant. Like, yeah, went and did what we did, you feel me, or whatever. But we still came up losing because we lost 3 homies and they only lost 1. And not even that, because he wasn't even gone, you feel me? He's still breathing. So at the end of the day, looking at it in a militant way, was it worth it? Hell no, it wasn't worth it, you feel me? Now looking at it in a grown man tip, it wasn't worth it at all to begin with, you feel me? Because now I'm away from my family. The homies are away from their family, you know what I mean? And what if I would have got life? Like, that would have been my whole life. You know what I mean? The homie Necio ended up pleading out to a dope case he had. The fool that told Ricky ended up getting a 10-year joint, 5 years probation and like 10 years joint suspension, or 5 years, no, 5 years probation, 5 years joint suspension. That's what he ended up getting. And I ended up getting 10 years. I ended up getting 2 years for discharge of a firearm. No, 3 years for discharge of a firearm. 5 years for gang enhancement. On enhancements alone, I got 8. 3 for discharge of a firearm, 5 for gang enhancement, and for the actual crime, assault with a firearm, I got 2 years. So I took a deal of 10. Yeah, I got lucky. I got a second chance, you feel me? And now I'm here telling my testimony. But I don't want y'all to think, oh, I'm just sharing this story, bragging and boasting, because I'm not. I'm sharing it because, man, the signs were there from the very beginning, you feel me? And I didn't listen. So maybe somebody watching this, next time you guys go through something and the signs are there, man, listen to your gut feeling, you feel me? With that being said, man, it's your boy Santo G. Let me know if you enjoy this story, if you want to hear more stories like this. And with that being said, man, real, raw, and uncut, unity, prosperity, and respect. Above all, let's get it.